Hi, my name is Henk. Welcome to my channel. Today I don't want to talk about a specific knife or brand, but my enthusiasm about knives in general, and my hobby in particular. Working in the industry for several years, involved with marketing, I had the advantage and the disadvantage that I was also a collector. The advantage is obvious. I just like knives. So my work was my hobby. I have a passion for knives. For example, being involved with designs, with production, schedule, attending shows, meeting awesome people, having access to prototypes, sometimes 2 years before you guys got to see them. The disadvantage is maybe less obvious, but sometimes, from a marketing point of view, it is an advantage if you are not into knives. Anyway, back to the hobby. My appreciation for knives is not for specific brands or specific designs or specific regions. I like a wide variety of knives. Fixed, folding, pocket knives, handmade, custom, production, modern, vintage, antique. Knives made as everyday carry tools, but also made for fighting or a tactical purpose. American made, Chinese, Japanese or European, to name a few regions where knives are produced. It doesn't matter to me. I like affordable knives with a price tag below 50 as much as custom made with a price tag above 3000. Sometimes a cheaper knife even can have more sentimental value for me. For example, this production knife and this full custom. The full custom is 20 or 30 times as expensive as the production knife. But I would never sell this one, but I could sell this one. This one has much more sentimental value. It was gifted by a friend. So my collection exists of a wide variety of knives. I'm not the kind of collector that collects just knives from a specific region or a specific period or a specific designer or brand. That makes my collection quite messy. On the table, just a small part representing my messy collection, which is quite big, by the way, probably a number with 3 zeros. For example, from old traditional made in Solingen folding pocket knife, the well-known Buck 110, Benchmade, SOG, custom Hoback, Pole Force. This one is made by a good friend of me, Flores, thank you. I got it for my birthday. Daggers, bayonets, Randall style knives. For example, the Gitano from Gudy van Poppel, made by Rafal from Spain. Kershaw 30-year anniversary knife. Small. This is the only Spyderco that's on the table right now. I forgot to put one on the table. Of course, Victorinox. All kind of stuff. So, who is Knife Collector 031? I'm a father of 3 children living in the Netherlands. I'm currently working on a knife-related project. Within a couple of weeks I will do an announcement. This project is very interesting for consumers and content creators with a passion for knives. Before I was VP marketing of a highly respected knife manufacturer. During my work in the industry, I never lost my hobby. I kept collecting. Besides collecting, I also carry and use my knives every day. Not all knives, of course, I have too many, but a big part of the knife collection I will carry and use, of course as a tool. I'm involved in quite a couple of knife-related initiatives, like co-founder of a weekend knife show or gathering, monthly meetings of a knife club in my city, the founding of the European Knife Association, and of course the current project in progress, to name a few. My interest in knives has shifted the last couple of years, and so did my budget. In the past I couldn't understand people buying, carrying and using expensive knives. What is expensive? For some people 50 or more is expensive. For other people 200 or more is expensive. For some 500 or even 1000 or more isn't expensive. So it's quite arbitrary. I would like to hear from you when you consider a knife expensive and if you carry and use expensive knives. So in the past I had, for me, expensive knives in the collection costing 150 or more. But slowly this changed. And one day I discovered that I no longer considered knives from 150 till 300 expensive. And that I already had quite a number of these in the collection, even using some of them. And then the first time I bought my first handmade custom knife, it was a fixed blade. Never expected me to do this, to buy a custom made knife. This was a $800 knife and I started carrying and using it. And then it went off. I bought more expensive knives and started to value and appreciate these highly. The craftsmanship, the fit and finish, the uniqueness of each one of a kind, materials and so on. I still kept collecting production knives as well. Now I reached the point I think I have way too many knives. As I told before, probably a number with 3 zeros. I find myself rarely buying a production knife these days, although I am still tempted by some. Most of the times I will reserve my budget for new custom-made knives, and I slowly try to sell some of my production knives to fund the purchase of new handmade knives. Though there are some production knives I will never sell. Well, I already showed this as an example. I will never sell this. This one I had sold, it's a Beuker. But I regretted it for 2 years, and recently I could buy it on the secondary market. I could buy it back from the same person I sold it. For example, let me see, production knife. For example, this one I will never sell. This one was gifted by a friend of me living in the Netherlands. He had restored it by himself, so I will never part from this kind of knives. Let me see. This one is very dear to me. It's a production knife. I just love the plain Jane gentleman style knife design. And there are more, but not specifically on the table. So why do I get so enthusiastic about knives? Honestly, I don't know exactly why. I think it started when I got my first knife from my parents after they got back from a vacation in Switzerland. I was 5 years young. It was a traditional style, Bowie style hunting knife, a very small knife with a leather sheath, with an antler handle, and unfortunately I lost it, but I think that ignited my passion for knives. My second was a Swiss Army knife. I also lost that one. And the third was a header folding knife, so something like this, but I think a little bit bigger. Back in the days, we could carry a knife when we went to school. I was a boy from 7, 8 years, but I always had a knife on me, and it was allowed. Now these days it is strange. And the rest is history. So for a long period of my life I didn't have time for the hobby due to my work and social life, my family life. Luckily my love for knives never died, and what a wonderful time we are living now with the internet. All information is at reach without a problem. That was totally different back in the days. Back then it was hard to get information or to contact a knife maker or whatever. To get an American-made knife to Europe, it was a struggle. Back then, now we all have access to an inexhaustible source of information, feeding our hunger for information about new designs, collaborations, new materials, and whatnot. And the interaction with fellow enthusiasts, for example YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, forums. And a hobby generally feeds the need to communicate with fellow hobbyists. And now we get friends in other parts of the world. So in a way the knife hobby connects people. Okay, back to knives. What intrigues me in a knife is a combination of craftsmanship, function, design, coming together with the choice of materials. And of course, knife was one of man's first tools. Knives accelerated the evolution, in my opinion, of mankind. And this bothers me currently, because of some incidents with knives involved. Some people forget where we come from and what a knife is. A knife is a tool. Some people and politicians want to restrict buying, carrying and using knives. Please, let's not forget where we came from. For centuries, a knife was man's best companion, even life-saving. So that's part of my fascination for knives, I think. I just love to fondle, play and admire a good knife. For example, a knife like this, it's just fun to play with. Flippering, watching television, flippering, playing, it drives my daughter crazy. Or for example, a knife like this one. This is a full custom made by Martin Annegarn from the Netherlands. Or just admiring the work of Gudy van Poppel in his Gitano design. For example, this one made by Miguel from Spain. I also have the prototype of the Wii production knife. Miguel collaborated with Wii on this design. This is the Blacao. Beautiful materials. Brian Nadeau is a joy to play and fondle with. Just such a smooth action. But also this one, oh by the way, also made by Martin Annegarn, Dutch knife maker. That's one of my favorites. Beautiful materials, lots of details, superb action. So, and I can spend hours playing with the Benchmade access lock. So, okay, I hope I didn't bother you too much with me rambling around. I just feel the need to share and tell about knives. In the next couple of weeks, by the way, I will try to record and upload a new video at least once a week, but maybe even more, but okay, I have to see, because I'm also busy with the project. I still owe you a few retrospective videos as promised in my first video since 3 years, last week. So that's about what was my opinion back then compared to my current opinion about a knife or a brand or a design. Maybe if you have certain subjects you want me to cover, please let me know. Maybe I can be of meaning covering such a topic. I don't know. That depends on what you are suggesting. Anyway, that's it for now. Hope you enjoyed this video and my rambling as much as I enjoyed making it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye bye.